Hi everyone, it's John again with another Q&A for Field Rep 101. As usual, we're getting a little bit started late, but some of the questions that I've been getting recently or these are pretty much common questions actually, is people talk about how quickly can I start earning? So the reason why we ask that typically is we don't know how much is involved with getting the work, and we don't know like kind of what training we need and all that. So I'll give a little bit of story of when I got started in field inspection, and it was different then because there wasn't field rep 101. There wasn't people. I mean, I had a hard time finding any information about field inspections. It wasn't until I connected with my mentor and friend Richard Law that things kind of really clicked into place. He helped set me on the right track, and where I was at that time just taking any assignments. And luckily, I stumbled onto him and learned about that. And also, business verifications was one of the first assignments that I got. Not the best now, and we're definitely it is definitely not as much of those assignments as before. But all of it is just experience. All of it just really, in the end, still helps you to get going and stuff. And so for me, that was it. It was just the foundation to kind of get more into field inspections. And really, as I've talked about different times before, it was not something I ever expected to become a full-time income. It was not something I expected to even write about or to teach about and stuff. It's just something that evolved. And then, as I shared in the recent video and stuff, then I stopped doing that. But to kind of get back to the original question of how long does it take, really, if I were to break it down to what the key essential steps now to take is to get some kind of training, get some kind of education about how to go about doing a field inspection, then to kind of apply to different companies and agencies that are looking for you. The easiest, the best way is ordering the SOFI directory. And actually, Richard Law and I have worked out a deal where I can help people to kind of get that at a discount and still, basically get it as a bonus for the different things that I've been doing. And so that's one key way that to do it is basically, to start applying to these different companies. I do a weekly course that basically to help you to learn the steps of what it takes to do a field inspection, how to connect with the different people that you need to meet with, the contacts, how to manage the reporting and the admin side of it. So these are all kind of the key steps and stuff like that. It's not so hard that where you have to I mean, I actually have a bachelor's degree in engineering, aerospace engineering, so I can legitimately tell you that it's not rocket science. At the same time, it does take some knowledge, not nearly as much as a home inspector where you're crawling into crawl spaces and checking every nook and cranny and everything. At the same time, you do need to have some idea of what you're looking at, and that's really what these banks and lenders are looking for, is somebody who can help them to identify if there's a potential problem, and so then that way they can bring in another inspector that has more experience with the particular issues, whether it's roofing or water damage, on and on stuff. So the shorter version of all this is that it's going to take you a little while, at least like a few weeks to basically get up and running, applying to these different companies, learning the ropes and everything like that. But actually, it's also a job that you can learn on the go and learn on the job and stuff. And that's one of the things that I emphasize, is not simply waiting for finishing some kind of course or some kind of training, is to get out there into the field. And in fact, that's what the way I teach it is, each week we give you drills to go out there to improve your skills, to learn what it takes, and really you learn the ins and outs the best that way. So I hope that answers the question. How do I find client agencies to work with in my area? So as I mentioned, one of the best ways is to connect with, just basically contact us. You can either email me at fieldrep101@gmail.com, and we'll help you to get signed up. You get the directory and to basically join our program and stuff. And then the other thing is that, really keep your eyes and ears open. Like I had a student who he, I guess, was out and about, saw some property sign that, like basically they were, they had some information about that they were looking for folks to help them with taking photos of properties and stuff. And then another student also was just approached by different companies and stuff. So those are just some of the ways that you can also, aside from contacting different agencies, applying, that to have people approach you and to contact you as well once you get the word out there. Let's see. And the other question we had is, what does it really take to get started? So, as I said, part of it is the education, and as Jim Rohn said, is that that education will get you you basically you get a job, it can make you a living, but if you get education, that can help you to prosper and to flourish and stuff. And so you absolutely want to make sure that you have that foundation and stuff. And along with that is connecting with a community of people that will help you to achieve that. So these are kind of like the foundations of all this, because aside from the skills and stuff is just simply the experience of doing it. And so there's really no substitute for that. Getting the directory is one key tool and to apply to these different agencies. And different times I help students with the email to write and to approach these companies and to how to basically coach them into what are the best ways to kind of frame your experience, because maybe you don't have construction experience. That doesn't matter. I mean, that's actually one of the things that I didn't really have when I got into field inspections. But you do have, no doubt, experience in some other areas that will apply to inspecting some type of company or some kind of property or on and on stuff. In terms of photography, I just have a simple little point and shoot camera. Let me see if I can point it out here. Let's see here. Yeah, I have it handy. Yep, here it is. And so this is one key piece of equipment, of course, is your point and shoot camera. I'm still a big fan of this Canon. I mean, this little baby I've had for over 10 years now. It's been serving me faithfully, knock on wood. So it's just basically like a little deck of cards. It takes plenty of photos that I need. And just, in fact, even at one of the lowest settings for resolution, it's still perfect for these reports, because they definitely don't expect you to have, like kind of high res, kind of photos and everything like that, because it won't fit for the most part, or it won't easily upload and stuff most of the time anyway, even with a fast internet connection. And then, of course, I have a case that you want to protect your camera and stuff. So that's two key pieces of equipment right there. Another thing, let me see if I can pull it out here. 1 second. This clipboard. I mean, I know that a lot of the reports nowadays are done electronically, and that's great and stuff. But what I do still to this day is I will print out reports, and basically I'll have the clipboard where I can write it. And so having a pen, of course, is essential to this, because, other than having the report form on there, it's doesn't do you much good without being able to kind of write on there. And so that's really, that's the essential. Other than transportation is the key things that you need to go to a site and do an inspection report. A cell phone definitely doesn't hurt, because different times, you'll want to either update the contact on your progress of getting to the location. Believe me, if you do enough inspections after a while, you'll find at different times, like, things happen, whether it's you get stuck in traffic or you're running late from another inspection site and stuff. So having a cell phone will really help with that aspect of everything. So those are the essential kind of things. Other than that, different times I will have water and snacks in the car. That's one of the key things that, really people don't think about. And another thing that sounds like a really small, trivial thing, stuff like that, is but having either hand sanitizer or wipes. That's also really helpful, because that will allow you to basically, like, if you don't have the time to run to the bathroom and stuff, or other times it's just not convenient, that, but meanwhile you've been climbing, like a ladder or stairs to get to the roof or something like that, then you can go ahead and, of course, clean your hands and, not worry about, like, kind of getting some kind of nasty bug or something like that. So that's really it. That's kind of some of the key essentials. As I said, the idea of this was just basically to connect with some different folks and answer some questions. I may in the future have some other, like, use Facebook Live or something like that to see if there's other technology that will help with doing these meetings and helping. And really, like, let me know if you have any questions. As I mentioned, you can contact me through FieldRep101 or contact me at fieldrep101@gmail.com. And yeah, so that's it for this time. I look forward to your questions and anything I can help you with. And thanks for watching.